Hey guys, if you're one of those people who love Google, and we've come across people like that before on YouTube that absolutely love Google, anytime we've said anything negative about Google, they get all emotional and say how wonderful Google is. If you're one of those people, you probably want to move on, because this video is not going to do you any good at all. You're not going to like it at all. So this is for those other people that we hear from fairly regularly who are unhappy with Google for various reasons. So there's a lot of reasons people are unhappy with Google. No doubt some of you will express your opinions and tell us why you're unhappy with Google in the comments of this video, which is fantastic. That's what we want to see. But the main thing that we're making this video for is that we think that the problem with some of these big companies is they just work on numbers. And what we've found from our experience with dealing with Google for the last few years is that they just work on numbers. They don't want their staff to have direct contact with us, with the people, the users, because it's too expensive. They want to save money by not having their staff spending time talking to us. What they want is they want us to solve our own problems by talking to each other. So they set up forums where we can talk to each other and solve our own problems, which is pretty amazing. Most businesses around the world, if you said, sorry, we're not going to talk to our customers or our users, we want you to talk to each other and work out your own problems. Most other businesses around the world, if they tried that, would go broke really quick, because customers would say, you know, fuck you. If you're not going to spend any time talking to us, we're not going to do business with you. But Google and a lot of these other big companies, that's just what they do, isn't it? They send you to the fuck you, the FAQ. Send you to the FAQ and don't want to know anything about you, which is just what they do. So we think that sometimes people deserve to have a bit more human treatment, and if they can't do that, we feel that if they want to automate their systems, which is what Google do, they give us automated systems. So if you go to their contact us or their FAQ pages or their help pages or whatever else they call them, which is all basically the same thing, it's just a big loop of forums and, you know, where you're supposed to help each other, you know, where they're not actually going to help us, they just expect us to help each other. And so forums and FAQs and a loop of that sort of thing where all the systems are automated. And it's the same as their reporting systems, where, you know, if somebody steals one of your videos and you report it, you know, it's all automated basically, and their staff don't even look at it. They don't need to look at it because it's all automated, it's all automatic. Now that's all fine too, but unfortunately we've found the last few years that those automated systems that they have are flawed. And lots of people have found this. It doesn't take long, search on the internet, Google sucks or any sort of similar sort of phrase, and you'll find lots of examples of how people had been unjustly treated due to Google automated systems. And, you know, sometimes people have spent years building websites and you know, building up things that Google's just flicked them off. Google system has just flicked these people off, which has basically cost them cost that user a lot of their time and often a lot of money, just because the Google system's automated and there's no justice after that. Their system has no justice after that. If the system unjustly treats you, there's no comeback. There's nothing you can do about it. And that's what we found with YouTube since Google bought it. You know, we started posting videos on YouTube when YouTube was still a privately owned independent company, and they were pretty good. They weren't bad. If we had a problem, we could send an email to their Tokyo office and they'd usually help us. So if one of the automated systems, because they had automated systems too, and if one of their automated systems did something that was unreasonable, or if they had some sort of unreasonable goings on that we had a problem with, we could send them an email, and usually a human being who we exchanged emails with, and we knew their names and we knew lots of stuff about them and they knew stuff about us, and we were humans dealing with each other in a normal business way. And if we had a problem, they'd often help us, and often they could help us really quickly. And they'd look at something and go, oh yeah, you're right, that isn't fair, bang, and they'd fix it, you know, and it was fixed. But of course, since Google bought YouTube, that's all over. For a little while, Google continued to operate the YouTube, because we're YouTube partners, you know, and which is a joke of a word, Because in any other business, if you had a partner that treated you like Google treats you, you wouldn't be partners for very long. You know, using the word partner is a joke, really, because in partnerships usually there's equality and there's fair treatment and there's reasonable behaviour, and you know, and there's no business partner in the world that you could have that would treat you like Google does, you know. But they still call it partner because that's what YouTube used to call it. It felt like a partnership when it was YouTube. It really did. When YouTube was independently owned, it was a partnership. It was a little bit unbalanced, but it wasn't bad. But since Google bought them, you know, we used to be able to contact partner support in Tokyo. For a little while after Google bought them, they continued with that, and then a little while ago they changed it, and now if you're a YouTube partner, now you might have spent years, every day for years, posting videos on YouTube, and if you want to contact them now for help, you need to have had 4.5 million minutes of views in the last 90 days, or you won't even get to send your email. If you try and send an email to partner support now, if you've got less than 4.5 million minutes of views in the last 90 days, you'll just get a message to say you don't qualify for partner support. That's it. And 4.5 million minutes of views is a lot of views, guys. You know, that's a lot of views, and you could be working really hard, posting videos and going really hard, and you might not be getting 4.5 million views in 90 days, 4.5 million minutes of views in 90 days. So it's really high, setting the bar high, and everybody below that, it's like this. You know, you get an automatic message that just says, you don't qualify for partner support, go to the FAQs. Now those people are still called partners. Google won't even talk to them. So we do get more than 4.5 million minutes of views in 90 days. So we do qualify for partner support. We earn Google about 15 grand a year probably, through the advertising that they have on our videos, you know, because of the amount of views that we get. We've had, you know, 65 million views or whatever we've had on our videos. So they earn about 15 grand a year from us, $15,000 a year. So when we've needed their help in the last few months, you know, a couple of times we've had problems with, you know, just different things to do with their systems being unjust, and you know, we reported things and it's come back there's no problem with that, and there really was, and a couple of things like that. So we contacted partner support, and twice, and both times our case was right. Everything was exactly like we knew what the right thing was. One of the things was a copyright claim by us, so someone had copied our videos. One guy had he'd started another channel, and he'd copied all our videos and posted all our, well, not all our videos, but lots of our videos, and posted them on that channel. We reported him, and it came back and said, no problem there. And another time was something else. Oh no, it was when we posted a video with a thumbnail, and someone reported the thumbnail as being a misrepresentation, and the thumbnail was exactly the topic of the video, and so we just said, no, it's not. So we reported it to the system and said, no, that's not correct, and that the system came back and said, yes, it is. So then we sent an email to partner support, and they sent back a really sort of brief cut and paste answer that said there's no problem there, or the system's okay, or it's not a mistake, or something like that, and gave us a link to the FAQs. And it was just wrong. It was just wrong. It was they hadn't watched the video. It was quite obvious because the thumbnail matched the video exactly what we were talking about in the video, and that was the end of it. And we sent back another email and said, no, it's not right. Have you actually watched the video? No answer. So even though we earn them, you know, 15 grand a year, possibly more, $15,000 a year or more, they don't think that we deserve 5 minutes of their time, you know, to actually really look at the video and to help us out when we need help. So that's their choice, you know, and what this is, all we're doing with this video is giving you the background of why we're not happy with Google, you know, and why we feel that doing business with them is not a very pleasant experience, you know. We had problems with Google AdSense on our websites, because we've got the japanchannel.com website and we've got the English Friendly Japan website, and we had Google AdSense advertising on both of those, and we had problems, and we tried to contact them, and they're just useless, just constantly getting these automated replies and sending us to FAQs, which, and again, they made money from us from those things, and they just wouldn't even talk to us. So this is quite common, right? Those of you who haven't experienced this problem with Google might have experienced with other big companies. They do it, Microsoft's another one, isn't it? When they have a huge share of the market, the way they see it, it's just a calculation that they know that there's a certain percentage of their users who are going to be unhappy, and they know there's a certain percentage of the users who aren't going to be happy with the automated systems, and that they'll lose those users, and they don't care, because they know they can attract more users. So it's easier to attract new users than it is to try and help the ones that need help. An example of that is when Google was making one of the biggest changes to YouTube. They put a link on the page and said, please give us your feedback. What do you think of this new design? Please give us your feedback. And there was an open forum there. And you went there and it said there was like 36 million comments or something. It was a ridiculous number of people responded to it. And you went down the page, and page after page of people saying, it's shit, put it back the way it was. It's shit, put it back the way it was. There was no positive comments on there at all. Everybody was unhappy with it. And it was just page after page after page of people unhappy with it. And they did it anyway. And basically that whole forum, the clicking on the button and leaving your opinion thing, was just like giving a dog a ball to play with, or a plastic bone to chew, just to keep it quiet. And they do that. Google does, a lot of big companies do that. Click here and give us your feedback, because they know if you click somewhere and go off and write your opinion down there, that then just disappears, right? Because those 36 million comments from all those people that were unhappy, that forum, of course, soon disappeared, because they kept the changes. They weren't going to not keep the changes, so that forum's disappeared. It's not on the internet anymore, is it? So all those negative comments about it all just disappeared. And then, of course, most of those people that commented and said they weren't happy obviously continued to use YouTube. A lot of them didn't. We can tell you that we know from our own statistics that some of the changes they've made have really killed YouTube. We had constant growth with YouTube up until about a year or so ago. Every month we got a few more views than we did the month before, obviously, because we keep posting new videos every day and we get new subscribers all the time. So we had a constant growth going on year after year, month after month, until Google started to make their major changes, and it just dropped off like that. And the biggest drop on our charts is the Google Plus change. When they changed it that you couldn't comment on YouTube without having a Google Plus account, and you couldn't subscribe, and you couldn't interact with YouTube at all without a Google Plus account, which again was just propping up their own Google Plus failure by forcing all these people to join. And our viewership just went poof. We went from, we used to get between 2 and 4 million views a month, usually around 3 million views a month. And then they brought in Google Plus and went poof, down to about 1 million views a month. Which I know it still sounds like a lot, guys, but when you've worked hard year after year to build something and it's come up and up and up and up, and then they make they basically prostituted YouTube, really. They knew that YouTube would lose a lot of users and a lot of views, but they wanted to prop up Google Plus because they had a lot of money invested in it. So they just weighed it up and went, oh, well, let's do that. And, and all the people like us. And the reason that a lot of people, we always get some nerd that says, oh, you don't have to use it if you don't want to. We're going to get to that in a minute. And they don't know you anything and everything else. Yeah, that's all true. That's all true. But the thing is, YouTube was built. The reason YouTube's successful is because of people like us and because of people like you. Because people like us have been posting videos on there for years, and then that brings people like you who come along and watch it. And that's what's made YouTube successful. So to have all our hard work that a lot of us have done, and all the loyalty that a lot of you guys have shown, and then just come along and prostitute it off to make a few extra bucks on one of their other ventures, which is the Google Plus thing, and knowingly kill, you know, half of the YouTube viewership, and, you know, just to cause us all that grief is pretty rude. You know, it's pretty rude and pretty ruthless. And that's what big companies do, and we understand that. So, the point of this video is that our policy is, if we're not happy with a big company and we think a big company is treating us poorly, as we do in this case, we look for alternatives. And then we tell as many people, if we find a good alternative, we tell as many people as possible. We made a video once before and showed some people, we thought Microsoft was shafting us with their Word software for their Office Word, and we felt their Office, what do you call it? Their Office software, you know, for the, and we felt that we were getting shafted by them because we'd spent a lot of money on their software, and I don't know, we just weren't happy. So we found an alternative, an open source alternative that was really good, and there's a video on our channel there somewhere. And we think this is what people should do. We think that if we're not happy with a big company, we think a bad company's treating us badly. The more of us who find alternatives and tell everybody about it, the better. Because they're all about the bottom line, these guys, and they weigh it up like this, and they go, oh yeah, well, a certain amount of these turkeys are going to be unhappy. Us, we're the turkeys. You know, they have their Google meeting, and the guys sit around in their suits and say, or pink t-shirts, or whatever Google staff wear, and they sit around and say, well, we know a certain percentage of these people are going to be unhappy, but we've done the figures, and we think we'll still be ahead, so we'll do that. And that's what they do. That's what Google do, and Microsoft, and all these guys do. So the only way to deal with that is that when we're not happy with the way we're being treated by one of these big companies, is to go somewhere else and find a better alternative and tell everybody about it. So the purpose of this video is, if you guys have any better alternatives to Google, please tell us about it in the comments below this video. Now, we've already got a couple. So we stopped using Google AdSense on our websites because we weren't happy with the way they were treating us. So we stopped using them, and we've got another alternative, and we're going to tell you about that in another video. And we've been searching for other alternatives to YouTube, and that's a hard one. Finding an alternative to YouTube is hard, but we think we might have found one there too. So, I mean, look, we'd prefer, you know, we're happy. The way we see it is a small company or a big company. If we're doing business with a small company or a big company that treats us well, we'll show them loyalty, you know. But we, you know, whether other people follow us in this idea or not, or whether other people just go, oh, what can you do, and don't worry about changing and everything else, that's fine. But this is more about how we feel about it. I mean, having done business with people for, you know, 40 odd years, it's better to do business with people where you think you're getting a reasonable deal, where you think you're getting treated with a bit of respect and a bit of mutual respect, and, you know, and it's mutually beneficial. To feel like you get treated like some of these guys treat us, it's just not right. So that's why we felt really good when we changed, when we stopped using Google AdSense on our websites. We felt really good about it, because, you know, they's guys, they're really convinced that they've got us by the balls. And, you know, what are you going to do? We're the best alternative. And that's the attitude that these big companies have, and that attitude flows down to their staff. And if you guys could see these emails that we've had from these Google staff, you get this overwhelming feeling that you know, it's that big company's attitude that, well, we know a certain percentage are going to be unhappy. Well, what are you going to do about it? You can either continue to use us, or what are you going to do? Go somewhere else? And that's their attitude. And that attitude comes down from these big companies to their staff, because they know there's nothing you can do. They know if they send you a link to some FAQ and then you answer that, so this doesn't answer the question, or, you know, this isn't nothing to do with what I'm talking to you about, and they know if they don't answer, that's not going to be a problem for them. There's no repercussions for them. You know, there's no boss at Google checking to see if they're giving good customer service. They don't give a shit. They don't give a shit. They've got, you know, half this, or more, 99% of their communications with the world are automated, and then another 1%, the humans in there are just checking on the system, and they're checking the system, and, oh, he's been sent an FAQ, okay, next, and there's no human interaction at all, which, you know, that's fine, But you know, if we're earning them $15,000 a year, you'd think they'd give us a little bit of their time, wouldn't you? You know, that's why we think looking for alternatives is the best answer. We feel better if we go and use an alternative. And we think if everybody did that, these guys would have to lift their games, because then the maths would be different. Then when they're having their meeting and they're going, hey, look guys, really, you know, that doing Google Plus to YouTube cost us more than it made us. That was a mistake, you know. Whereas what's actually happening is they're sitting around their meeting saying, yeah, well, we really sort of half killed YouTube, didn't we? But Google Plus is doing better than it was, so you know, it worked, and that's their attitude. So, you know, alternatives. It's what we do with everything else. I mean, if we've got a plumber we're happy with, we'll continue to use him. If we're not happy with him, we'll try someone else, and we'll keep trying someone else until we get a plumber we're happy with, you know, and an electrician we're happy with. And that's the best way to do business. It really is. When you get someone that's really good, stay loyal to them and look after them, you know, and then use them forever. We've got a gas station that we get our gas from, and you know, all these different people who have looked after us well, and we stay loyal to them. And it's a really good way to do business. Those of you who are in business would know this already, but you know, we've been doing business, you know, in one way or another for 40 years. And it's the way we always do it. You know, if people treat us well, we treat them well and stay loyal to them. And then, you know, our website designer and builder is a great guy. Now and again, we have a few problems with our website and he fixes it really quickly. And we're really patient with him and he's really good with us, and it's mutually beneficial and it's all positive. You know, and that's the way you want to do business. And these big guys just don't do that. They've just got this, you know, attitude that, well, we'll make a bit of an effort, and if you guys aren't happy, well, fuck you can go somewhere else. You know, and that's not a way to do business. That's not professional. That's not business-like. And unfortunately, it's become so normal. You know, these anonymous automated emails that come from the Google team or the Microsoft team or all the other bullshit that they go on with, and people have just come to accept it, and it's becoming more and more prevalent. You know, it's not just those huge companies who are doing that now, it's medium-sized companies who are doing it now too. They're getting all these automated systems so they don't have to actually answer your email. They don't have to actually communicate with you at all. You know, you just pay them money or you just use their service or do whatever you do, and their systems are all automated so they don't have to communicate with it. So it's becoming more and more normal. And the thing is that people just keep accepting it. And we get this all the time. If we point out on videos like this about how these big companies are treating us like shit, there's always a high percentage of people who just go, oh, well, that's okay. That's okay, you know, I love Google, they're great, you know. And that's the problem, is they know that. They know that the majority of people think like that. And so that's why they keep doing it. And that's why other companies start doing it. And that's why eventually it's all going to be, we're not going to get help. You know, it's all going to be help. Customers help each other. You got FAQs, and if you're still unhappy, oh well, tough shit. You know, and it might cost you. The reason we're frustrated by this is that we've put a lot of work into our websites and into our YouTube channels. Well, the Japan channel. This channel we haven't put much work into, but the Japan channel we work that every day, hours a day, every day. You know, and have done for years and years before Google had anything to do with it, you know? And so we put a lot into that, and then they just come along and just treat us like shit. You know, and they don't care. They don't care. So anyway, if you've got any alternatives to any Google products, please tell us about them in the comment section below here. We're going to make some more videos offering you some alternatives to Google. If Google improve anything, because we're in the interest of fairness, if Google improve anything, or if we start to notice that they are solving problems, or you know, if the situation with them improves at all in relation to YouTube or in relation to AdSense or anything else, we'll be happy to make a video talking about that as well. And all we want to do is say, what's the best alternative? And we just think at the moment, with the way Google are treating people, we don't think their products are the best alternative at the moment. We think there's other options that are better at the moment. If they want to improve the way they do business and they are the best option, we'll be happy to make videos saying that. And we'll be happy to use their products and tell everybody that they are the best option. You know, we're staying at YouTube at the moment because of our loyalty to our customers, but we're actively trying out other alternatives, as we'll tell you soon. So anyway, looking forward to hearing what you guys have got to say on the topic. More videos coming soon.